that's so beautiful. You've really touched my heart just in that few seconds. So for everybody, this is Dr. Kaṇāda Narahari, all the way from Florida. We know him here in South Africa also as a classical musician, as well as a great Ayurvedic doctor. And today we're going to be chatting about the sitar and Hindustani classical music and his journey. So welcome, Dr. Kaṇāda, to my show called Breathing Music.
I'm so glad, Shruti. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. You know, I remember so many good memories. I mean, I have so many good, fond memories of you and your family on the stage and off the stage. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure and joy and happiness to be on Breathing Music.
Now I guess we realize the value of breathing music after everything's going on. And as you said, anyways, I'm glad that we had the experience of meeting you and getting to know you. So let's start from the beginning. So you come from India, and there's so many instruments that you can play there. There's hundreds of instruments. And why did you choose the sitar? What drew you to the sitar?
Yeah, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. That's a very, very good question. I come from a family which upholds and which contributed a lot to traditional form of performing arts, like theater, but not theater. It's called Yakshagana. It is in southern part of India, mostly in Karnataka.
Okay.
Right? It's also similar to another performing arts called Kathakali, which is Kerala, traditional art from Kerala.
Yes,
So
I'm
I
familiar with
grew
that.
up, I grew up listening to mostly Carnatic-based renditions. So their renditions in Yakshagana, the renditions are mostly Carnatic-based renditions. There were mridangam, there were harmonium, there was mostly vocal. That's what I grew up listening to. And then eventually I grew up near Bangalore in India. The place is called Adi Chunchanagiri. And there were no music teachers. I was like, until I turned 9, my parents were teaching me bhajans, like Kannada bhajans, we call Bhakti Gite, Bhava Gite, and all those things. And then when we had Carnatic singer there, she came there with her family, and then I started learning Carnatic vocal. The reason is my father told me, he saw kind of an interest in me, like the interest that I have towards Hindustani music. I don't know where I had that Hindustani music affection inside me. Not probably I heard something on the radio and all, but I remember my father used to play a lot of Begum Parveen Sultana and Bhimsen Joshi a lot.
Okay.
So in the cassette, back
Yes.
those days, I used to hear a lot. Probably that triggered my interest in Hindustani music.
Yeah.
And then he told, okay, learn Carnatic music, and I then learned Carnatic music. I was going, and then when I got a chance to go out of Adi Chunchanagiri for my higher studies, my Ayurveda and everything.
Yeah.
I literally don't know why I triggered for sitar. The place where I was being colleged, in that place there still he is there, I guess. There's a very good Rudraveena player, and I used to hear from people, hey, Rudraveena is so difficult, and he also plays sitar. That was first time I was like just listening to the words Rudraveena, sitar, Rudraveena, sitar, Rudraveena, sitar. Okay. That kept on going in me. And that's it. And after that, just by listening, I asked my father, hey, can I join sitar classes here? He said, you have to travel, take a bus, travel for 2 hours to go to his place, and he's in a village. It's not going to work out right now. You're a brilliant child, brilliant student. Just do your Ayurvedic degree properly, and slowly you can start learning sitar. And as soon I got chance, I got initial tuitions from someone, and then yeah, that's how it started. I literally don't know. It's like somebody goes to a concert and they see magnificent sitar playing and all. Nothing happened to me like that. It's the word of sitar and Rudraveena and a close something for Hindustani music. That's
Okay.
what
Yeah,
yes,
because
yeah.
you come from South India and you play Hindustani music, which is something also not very common, I guess. Is it common there?
Yeah. Back then, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it was not that common. Now, like Bangalore hosts most Hindustani concerts than any other country. Sorry, any other
Okay.
state. Yes, yeah. But back then,
Okay.
it was not that much. Yeah.
Okay. So I know recently I've seen a lot of your music on Apple Music and Spotify and things. And I've seen you have collaborated with some Western musicians. And even when you were in South Africa, I know that you had some Western influences. So can you tell us about the creative process between you as a pure Hindustani classical musician when you are creating music with a Western musician?
You know what? As long as we understand the Shruti, right? And we understand the, for people who don't know that, what I'm trying to say here is, if you understand the central tone of an instrument or the central tone of a song, then it becomes very easy for you to understand. And what happens is, when you collaborate with the artists and musicians who are in their prime level in their instrument and in their genre, and you come from different background and you try to collaborate, is the first thing is the understanding between musicians.
Yes.
That's very important because everybody comes from different background, same like that. But we here to make one music, and music is one, and music has literally may come from different academic and what you say, structural background, different
Yes.
academic background, different structural background, but ultimately music becomes one. So
Yeah.
it happened to me initially. The first collaborations with Western musicians I had when I was in Nepal.
Okay.
So there it was, I used to work as an Ayurvedic doctor, and in the evening I used to go to, I lived in a place called Pokhara, which has a big tourist attraction. And they had these evening bars and clubs and pubs where, a
Yeah.
lot of musicians come and play. I used to take my sitar and, walk like a hippie and, hey, do you know any musicians here? Because I was new, I'm not a Nepali. So I was
Yeah.
there just for 2 years. And somehow I got into touch with people who were traveling. Great.
Yeah.
Back then I didn't know then, they were great musicians from Austria and all. His
Yeah.
name is Peter, I forgot his surname. He played nice guitar, beautiful guitar back then. We used to collaborate a lot. And then that was my first exposure towards Western music, to be
Yes. Yes.
honest. So, till then I used to just listen to very rarely possible things, but I used to listen to Beethoven's composition and all, and trying to understand that from Carnatic background or Hindustani background.
Yeah.
But this was total new exposure to me. This guy's playing guitar, totally crazy, wild, and that exposed to me one thing. I'm playing from D, he's playing from D. That's what we need, and we got one scale. And the common scale can be anything, minor, major, or anything. But they have a lot of chance. Of he came from jazz background, so many accidental notes. And then I started learning about jazz.
Yeah.
It was like all learning process. And when I came to South Africa, I am so fortunate that I met this wonderful human being, Guy Buttrey.
Yes.
And since he listens to Hindustani music a lot, that made me and him this nice connection. He basically listened to Kishori Amonkar, Kishori Tai, for 10 hours a day. It's like that kind of person, listen to one raga for 10 hours a day,
Yeah.
playing a loop. So he understood Hindustani classical music before, and then we had a student and teacher relationship in the beginning, because he explored sitar by himself. He had a sitar in his hand, so things became very easy with Guy Buttrey. But when you work with other people, like anyway, we created awesome music, which is kind of the reception that we got for our album Nadi is huge, because worldwide. It's
Yes.
people like it from worldwide, from east to west, everywhere. Our
Yeah.
tracks is being played on NPR here in New York radio. So that was an epic journey for me, and I learned a lot. It's like, again, okay, you collaborate with someone who know a lot about Hindustani music. It became very easy for me, and I never thought that we talking a different language. But I experienced this different language story later. After I came here, I collaborated with a Spanish guitar player. He is an awesome friend of mine called Don Soledad. He is based in Orlando, and
Yeah.
I collaborated with a violin player, comes from totally different background, and a band, and a jazz singer. I did so many such. Then this again, these are all the part of learning for me. And they, for example, most of the Spanish flamenco guitar players, they play from E, and the scale is almost like same.
Okay.
Most of the
Okay.
same.
Yeah,
So
Spanish
for
has a lot
them,
of Indian influence also.
a lot of Indian
Yeah.
influence. Yeah. He used to always play in E. So then this is what happened. When me and Guy Battery were doing the records, and he was telling, hey, we cannot have everything in D. We have to change the tuning. And then I started changing the tuning. So I keep the main string same as D. It is in D, I keep it in D. Because
Yeah.
if you bring it down, the tonal quality changes.
Yes.
You have to check the frets again.
Yes.
Jawari quality changes, those
Yes.
things.
Yes. Yes.
So I learned playing from different places,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
changing the other strings, adopting a weird kind of tuning things. Probably very few
Yeah.
people do. So I learned that with playing with Guy Battery, and then that became easy for me here to
Yeah.
collaborate with Spanish.
Okay. So
So
it's easy to adapt.
yeah, easy to adapt. It's just little understanding and love and surrendering, I guess.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's such an awesome answer, actually. Like, I think within me, I have the West and I have the East as well. So it's interesting to hear your side of things, where you had only the East for most of your life, and then you had to introduce the West slowly as life progresses,
Yeah.
basically. Okay, so
True.
my next question to you is more of a practical question. Obviously, as a musician, you have to practice a lot. So what are your practice tips that you would advise any sitar player to do in order to become
Oh,
a better musician?
I guess that's same with all kind of music. I heard, forgot his name, guitar player playing. He had a traffic jam, and he jumped on he was going to a concert, and he jumped on his 8 hours traffic jam, and he practiced for 8 hours. So for musicians, us, it's just giving a lot of time with your instrument, understanding.
Yeah.
I was telling someone the other day, if you don't want to play, don't want to practice, just keep tuning. Keep tuning. Make every tune it's right, the tone, because the instrument like
Yeah.
sitar goes off tune very often. So because of the structural components of it,
Yes.
we still want to preserve that authenticity and the heritage. So
Yeah.
most of us, for playing classical music, Indian classical, we keep the same traditional sitar, not the electric sitar.
Yes.
I have an electric one. I made one electric one here. After I came, I modified my traditional sitar. I had few. But the joy of playing acoustic sitar, regular.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically the time you have to give. Like, if you want to become a musician, I guess, I know we all go through so many, because we're living in a life which demands a lot of manual labor for finance and budget. You have to
Yeah.
live. But we have to do a lot.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you want to become musician, you have to give up everything and focus on music. That's very, very practical thing. So okay, from there, but everybody cannot do it. I went through all these things. I'm now slowly phasing out and becoming focusing mostly on music. So what I feel is, I had a job. I was practicing 6 hours a day. I had no job. I was practicing 6 hours a day.
Okay.
For my prime early sitar learning phase,
Yes.
I was like crazy. The fingers were giving trouble. I didn't
Yeah.
worry, taping the finger and practicing. So if you love your instrument, and I didn't start sitar very early,
Yeah.
like the sitar like prodigies, they start very early,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I started very late, my early 20s. So I have to keep up. I have to practice more. But music was there in me. But it happens like many people think, okay, there's music in me. I know, I understand music. I sing, I do this and that. So you hold any instrument. For example, you hold violin at 25. You cannot play whatever you going on in your head. For that, you need the techniques to follow you,
Yes, yes,
follow your brain and hands coordination. For
yes,
that, the practice is the more you give, you like any sitar players, if you want to, you should know what you want to become. You want to play sitar for yourself, you want to play for public. So if you want to play for yourself, you do whatever you want to do, that's fine. How
yeah,
long you want to play, tune it for Kivani, tune it for Malkams, you enjoy playing. That's
yeah.
for inner happiness. But if you want to do a public performance, at some point people want to pay and come and listen to you. You have to give justice for their time and their payment, right?
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
you have to have proper tayari. We call that as tayari.
Yes.
So the tayari may be 1 hour a day, 2 hour a day, 3 hour a day. So somebody asked Ustad Abdul Halim Zafar Khan Sahab. He was total out of this world. He was one among the big trios, Ravi Shankar, Pandit Ravi
Yes.
Shankar, Ustad Sahab, and
Yes. Yes.
Ustad Abdul Halim Zafar Khan Sahab. So he said, I practice only 2 hours a day.
Okay.
उसके ज़्यादा क्या करते हो? बस उतना काफी है. So that was his perspective. But they were all gifted, right? But we are all not that gifted. So if you want to achieve more, practice more. So you spend 1 hour a day, spend 1 hour a day every day. 2 hours a day, 20 minutes, but keep the time, because the biological cycle is like this, circadian rhythm, biological cycle. So your body feels, you feel hungry in the morning at 8 o'clock every day. Why? So you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Why? So same way you have to train your hormones, your nervous system, that should follow your thirst of playing music. So keep that hours,
Wow.
like 6 to 8 in the morning, or
Wow.
8 to 10 in the morning, or those 6 hours. Then the body adjusts to it. And then what happens, like most of the people I have never noticed. I started very late. Somebody was telling me, hey, you started very late playing sitar, and within the short span you achieved a lot. And then I realized why. Because it's not just hours of playing, or it's not just understanding of music. It's how I coordinate myself, my body, with the sitar. So when I'm playing, I'm breathing properly. So like
Wow.
breathing music. So you're playing with tensed, I need to play this tayari, I need to play this tan, this palta.
Yeah.
You practice 100 times, you practice the some to some complex
Yeah.
tihai that will never come on stage if you're tensed. So I practice, like on the stage, I take deep breath in between. Okay, one improvisation done. We came to some. That was a Vilambit thing, and then you don't have to start at second beat of Vilambit in Tal going at 40 BPM, right? So
Yeah.
give couple of beats and take a deep breath and close your eyes, relax, and then start. So there, the great thing about that is somehow you're listening to yourself. You're not just playing what the tayari has been done. I've noticed that, as I said, I'm a very, very humble. Yeah, I started sitar yesterday kind of thing. I'm not a great sitar player, but anybody can make things happen when they understand that there should be a pause which talk in between the phrases. Like when you're practicing, also when you're playing, the pause should be the part of music. And
Wow.
when you're practicing at your home, it's not just okay,
Yeah.
doing it, and then give a pause. That pause is for the realization, what I'm doing it right or
Wow.
not. So these things I practiced. I always controlled my breath techniques to go with my tongue. It's same like singing. When you're singing, you're doing the breath techniques. You're playing
Yeah.
any instrument. Use your breath technique.
Yeah.
When your breathing is strong, you can observe it. When you're inhaling, you're breathing in. The playing technique, the tonal quality of your playing will be different than when you're breathing out. So for this, we need to have that patience, understanding, and doing. And rest of the thing, right and left coordination on sitar is very important. If you come to sitar, sitting in this posture, like the posture, so sitar posture, you have to sit as long. If I'm watching TV, I sit like this. If I sit in a car, somebody driving, I sit like this. So because we need to be in this posture to
Yeah.
sitting. The other day I was doing a private concert, and I was sitting there for 3 continuous hours in the same pose, and nothing bothered me. It's just because you practice a lot.
Yeah.
And when it comes to sitar, left and right coordination is very important. So many people, you see, their right hand is so good, but you have to play your left hand in the same
Equal
speed.
speed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to warm up a little bit, but so that's how, left and right coordination should be very important. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things,
Yeah.
but
I feel like just in the few minutes of speaking, I learned so much actually. Like I'm sure even with my violin now, I'm going to incorporate breathing into my playing. I actually never thought about that in my life before, but now I definitely learned something. And so my next question to you is an extension of the last one. Basically, it's you mentioned about improvising now. What is your techniques for improvising?
listen to music, listen to any music. I was listening to Fatoumata Diawara other day. We're talking complete. She's a Malian musician. You should listen
Okay.
to her on Spotify. She got an amazing voice. And the way that she improvises, small improvisation, our murkis and, simple things that we do in one line, sing it in a different style with little ornamentation to one word, pressing that note a little differently. I take these all examples from everywhere, like folk music of India, Indian classical music, everywhere. I listen to music a lot from everywhere, especially Hindustani music and Bollywood music. So, for example, you take Ranjana composition, for example, from A.R. Rahman. All the songs, they are all, for me, they're not fixed. Okay, he had to fix it for people to sing, but it's like slow progression of the same chord progression and slow progression of the same structure.
Yes.
They are in ragas. They are in the ragas. So you take from anywhere, and they are all structurally for improvising. We just understand like chord progression and improvisations in Indian classical music are same, to be honest. They talk different language. These people talk different language, but they're same. So improvisation. So for example, I have this, since it's in Kirwani, so I have this just regama, right? So regama. So you take the same regama and make different combinations in the beginning, which sounds weird. So there, you just got 3 notes. Within 3 notes, you can play for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember Ilayaraja composed a song in Tamil which has only 3 notes.
Wow.
I think it's Sagapa, Pagasa or something. I was like his brain, So a whole 4 and 5 minute song can be made with 3 notes. That's like, they are the basic structures of improvisation. So technically these things. So we be hanging there, they should not be hurried. That's the first way of improvising.
I noticed Ustad Shahid Parvez does that a lot as well. I noticed in his playing, even in the alap of even Pandit Ravi Shankar, I noticed sometimes his songs, his pieces, the pieces are not so complicated, but because he's playing the same thing in different ways, like as you said, it's regama, and there's so many ways that he did the same phrase,
Exactly. I mean, that kind of patience and while playing, I think he's one among the first. Vlad Khan's did, everybody did, but since his tonal quality of the sitar is totally different from the elders,
Yeah.
uh, that projected the whole, like the long sustenance and stuff in
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
project. It's more meditative. But if you listen to Ustad Shahid Parvez Khan's early recordings, they were there, but because of the sitar's structural what's that, chemistry or physics, it was not that long sustained alarms. The sustenance was not there, but you know, the
Yeah.
evolution. So that's one thing for the improvisation. If you probably you heard from Carnatic music called Manodharma Sangeetam. They call as normal music.
Okay.
Manodharma is dharma is not religion here.
Like
Dharma is
conduct.
your yeah, your feelings and you hold that structure.
Yeah.
Mana is your mind.
Mm.
So you play from your mind. It's your music. So there is same kriti, same varna, same kirtana, same everything is there in even in Carnatic music. But when it comes to improvisational Carnatic music, when they do the sargams, they do the swarams, and they do sing the same pallavi, or same in a different way.
Yeah.
Great example for that is Pandit Balmurli Krishna. You know, so
Okay.
I heard his first Malkams, the Hindolam Raga, Samajavaragamana. And nobody else sang like that because he starts Samajavaragamana. So this is what we learned. And back then, and he is like, he start the same thing. Sa from Maga Sa, then Samaja, Sa, no, Sa, Ni, Samaja. So he did, you know, it's like he brought every component of
Yeah.
improvisational thing in one line. So that's one
Yeah.
thing. And now if you we talk about khayal is totally improvisational music. Ghazal is an offshoot from the khayal. That's what I can say. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of chance for improvisation within the lines and within the lyrics and you know
Yeah.
within the word. But khayal is totally there, only one line or two line.
Yeah.
And you do the Vilambita Iktal Khayal. In Khayal music is total improvisation. You stay there, go to the next swara, come back. So this for me, this improvisational music is all about some basic structure should be there. Okay, you should know this is how to improvise. This is how it is done. This is where you stand. These are the notes that you focus much on in this raga, like
Hmm.
Vadi Samvadi. But you have to have a musicality in your heart. Otherwise, it will be monotonous again. So it will be the same structural. It's Saviti sung. I have a beautiful voice, I sing, or I got a beautiful mind of playing sitar, I play.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that musicality, improvisation becomes monotonous. So that musicality is not like you born with it. So it's just observing and breathing, relaxing, listening your own, listening to others. So
Yeah.
that patience and the pause in between the phrases, you know, or
Yes.
in between, yeah, they are part of music. So they should sound as part of music.
Mm. Mm. Even in the improvisation, it needs to
In the
be part of the
improvisation,
music. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to use your tips definitely when I'm practicing how to improvise. So okay, I learned a lot now from the musical side of your life. Now let's go to this Ayurvedic doctor side. And I want to ask you, um, is there anything with music therapy and Ayurveda, and is there like a bridge between the two?
of course, like there is, though Ayurveda is mostly into herbs, mental health, physical health. We talk, you know, as an Ayurveda
Mm,
scholars, we talk mostly into physical and mental health coming from a holistic perspective.
mm,
There is no direct mentioning of music, but the mantras were music back then. They speak about mantras, you know, how mantras can heal.
yeah.
Like Ayurveda was everything what came from very long Vedic period to 200 BC that era. So they brought everything together and they made the compilations. We cannot see that directly, but if we go to Vedas and Atharva Veda, Rig Veda and Atharva Veda, these two Vedas are like parents for Ayurveda. So there are a lot of references of music healing there. And we find Nada Yoga along this journey. So Nada Yoga is not that we are talking today. We call it as Nada Yoga because Nada Yoga was there back long ago. It's not that we invented or anything today. Many people talk about Nada Yoga. Nada Yoga is again very individual approach. So since I have Sitar, some people do Nada Yoga only with chanting Om. That is also Nada Yoga. Definitely. Some people playing Bansuri, they make Nada Yoga. It's just like, for example, when it comes to Sitar, you just do you just play the taraf and people go, oh, wow, so relaxing. Awesome. So this relaxation comes from the secretion of dopamine in the body. Dopamine is a hormone. And now today's level is everybody is rushing into things and everybody wants what you call as instant gratification. I want this product. Go to Amazon, order it, get it. I want to produce music. Go get something, record something, put NAB itself on the Facebook and get the comments and see. So, you know, this era is different. So, but back then people had a lot of patience, you know, in keeping their mental health properly. So they used music. So many people talk about it. Pandit Ravi Shankar lived for that long. Vlad Khan Sahib lived for that long. You know, everybody lived for that long because music kept them strong, though their body was not supporting. So in a similar way, how music therapeutic quality of music is, classically, there are so many explanations in the Shastras about how different ragas can treat different ailments. So to do that, definitely it's not only the raga, it's the person who is rendering the raga. And it is definitely possible. And Tansen's story of Miyake Malhar and Deepak Raga, you know, those things, they're definitely true. And it is possible because we don't know so many hidden. So we don't know so many, so much power that we have within ourselves, you know. We talk about electromagnetic field and the power and everything. They all are with us. So we just need to know how to use them. But there are so very complicated explanations, but simple way is if you have a healing nature, you know, when you are playing that happy mood of healing people, then you heal. Intention makes a lot of difference here. You just want to show off and play, you show off. You want to heal and play, you heal. You want to improvise yourself and play and learn, you do. So it's your intention. So ragas can definitely do healing a lot. And Ayurveda, we talk about applied. These are all man-made stories later, but which are very true. Different constitution people respond to music differently. A kapha person may like more of the ragas like Darbari. A vata person may like more of electric or fascinating ragas, like for example Kirvani or Yaman. Pitta person may like more fast, upbeat Druttintal. And for example, very long time I always waited on radio. We had the Dharwad station and Ceylon station when I was growing up, and we used to listen to classical music at 1 o'clock during the day, and in the evening 5, and at night at 11 or 10 from Radio Dharwad. You know, we used to listen to people come, you know, great masters used to sing on AR, you know, All India Radio. So I was always waited for Druttinta or Drut compositions. You know, when he's going to Drut composition, when he's going to Drut composition. I was always waited. So that clearly means that I'm a Vata Pitta personality. And if you closely observe people who really enjoy Vilambit, total Vilambit, Ektal compositions, kind of those things, they are mostly Kapha related people. So this is again a little bit of technical academic background, but planning treatment wise, you can select ragas which are suitable for different constitution people. Then it works better. So somebody was talking to me back long ago, coming from he is an Osho background person. We were talking about, I had a concert and in a Osho Tapovan Pokhara, and then we were talking about, hey, music heals, Indian classical music. I was back then like heavy-headed. Indian classical music can only heal, no other music, those things. And then he just told me one thing: hey, music itself is a therapy. Any music. Then slowly I realized, yeah, whatever he said is right. Music itself is therapy. It can be Billy Joy, it can be Guy Buttrey, it can be Shruti, it can be me, it can be anybody. Like if you play music properly with good intention and everything is in tune, sur tal mein hai, everything will go well. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So you mentioned the Vata, Pitta. What were the three again?
They're Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Yeah, and those are the body
They
types, just to clarify, right?
they are the body types. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like the basis of a lot of Ayurveda, right?
Yeah. So instead of saying body type, even I say yes many times. Right translation of Prakriti is probably psychosomatic constitution.
Okay,
It
wow.
decides your body, it decides your mind, it decides your general health, your mental health, and yeah.
Okay, I find Ayurveda so fascinating, and I find it so interesting because aside from you actually sparking that interest in me when I was younger, I feel like now everybody looks for quick fixes also in terms of health. So I think with Ayurveda, we learned that, sometimes over time things can actually work if you look at the root cause. And so firstly, before I continue, I want to say thank you for sparking this interest in Ayurveda for me, because I love reading about Ayurveda. And secondly, I just want to say on a public platform that you actually cured me when I was younger with a nerve problem that I had through Ayurveda. So now I know about the musical side, and yeah, I agree with you with whatever you're saying, especially when the intention is right. I know that from a simple experiment would be, if you're having a bad day and if you are playing to make yourself feel better, you feel better. You can cure yourself. So I guess with music, obviously it works.
True.
So now I have a few questions for you. These are like quick questions, like one word answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I just for like more for fun more than anything. My first question, so I like to call this crescendo questions, because it's like a build up. So firstly, so I'm going to give you like a kind of a scenario, and can you tell me like a rag that resonates with you when I tell you this? So a rag that you listen to or you play when you're feeling happy.
Tilakamud.
Okay. And a rag you listen to that reminds you of India, home.
Malhar.
Okay.
All the Malhar prakaras. Miya Malhar mainly. Sur Malhar.
Miya Malhar
One
is
comment.
beautiful.
I come from Bangalore, and where I studied my BMS, my original native place is very close to Goa and Dharwad. If you know, Dharwad is like south of, it's like Hindustani classical hub of south. So Pandit Ganpati Bhatt Hasangi, great name, great scholar, great Hindustani classical singer. He back then, that was his first CD I used to listen to, his Surmalhar, where he sings Badal Babarsana Lage. It's available on YouTube. You should watch it or listen to it. That's what, for me, home is Malhar, because it rains a lot at my place.
Okay.
And I just feel that rain. 7 days, 8 days continuous rains. Back then when I was very young, I don't think now. But Malhar, Sur Malhar mainly, I guess, is my raga.
Okay. Raga, the first one that you ever learned.
If it is Carnatic background, of course it is Lambodara Lokumikara. Which one is that? Bilahari?
Okay, I'm not sure.
So, yeah, in Indian, in Hindustani classical music, it was obviously Yaman.
Okay. The rag that you are practicing right now, that you've been playing with.
Tilakamud. Chandrakans.
Oh, wow. I like both those rags a lot. Um, a rag that reminds you of your child, your daughter.
Oh, that is so interesting. You know, Niladri, Pandit Niladri Kumar ji,
Yes.
he recently, I think he's going to release or something. It is combination of nut and tilak, nut tilak. He calls that as naughty tilak.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. That's
It is
interesting.
nut tilak he's bringing up. He's bringing
Okay.
up. I think it'll be released on Spotify soon or released, I'm not sure. So I think that kind of combination is like mostly like Gaud Malahar or Nat Tilak kind of thing, full of energy, full of joy, and all Vakra, not straight Sampurna
Straightforward.
Raga. It's a complex raga. My daughter is like that. So, like, you know, jumping everywhere. Some raga like that, yeah.
Okay, next question. So, if not sitar, which instrument do you think you would have played?
Surbahar.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, a Western musician that you would love to collaborate with?
I collaborated with you already. Ah, there are quite a few. Let me brush my mind quickly. I like to collaborate with Kaki King.
Okay, I am actually not very familiar with that,
She
but
came to South Africa, performed with Guy Battery, I guess, a couple of times, I guess.
yeah.
She is totally her, like, I cannot see anything from a Hindustani perspective, what she plays, but that touches my heart, literally.
Okay, okay. Which musician influences you the most?
Pandit Bhimsen Joshi.
Ah, okay. And okay, lastly, so I know the sitar, it looks very daunting for a lot of people. So, what is your advice to young musicians who would like to learn the sitar or want to learn and are scared because of its size and its difficulty level? What is your advice to them?
Actually, sitar is not that difficult. There are two things there. If you want to learn sitar as a kid, like 6, 7 years, my daughter's age, for example, just get a custom-made sitar that you can play until 12. So it becomes easy.
Yeah,
The neck would be not that long, a little lesser.
yeah,
And to be honest, guitar is the most difficult instrument, not the sitar. So you understand the amount of the work that you do with the chords and
yeah,
improvisations on guitar. It may sound easy, playing little chords, just doing that is singing some songs is may not be difficult, but
yeah,
to become a pro, guitar is the most difficult instrument, not the sitar. But the ragas and improvisations, those part is a secondary thing.
yeah,
Physically, sitar is not difficult. It's just playing Saregama Padanisa. We just use one note, one string, you know, rarely the second string in Gandhar Pancham Sitar, the style of sitar that I play. It's not a difficult instrument at all. It just since it looks
looks
difficult,
complicated.
looks bigger, you know, you feel difficult, but it is not at all. But playing ragas, that is different. That is totally, you need to have certain, you know, all the things that we spoke before. I don't say that's easy.
Yeah,
That's easy on sitar. No, that's not easy. But playing, starting, getting knowing the sitar and some interest in playing sitar, then I'm definitely going to tell you that sitar is the most easiest instrument. It's not difficult. Yes, it's just the sitting posture and looks difficult, but it's not.
no,
Any instrument is difficult. Even violin. You know, why can't everyone play like El Shankar, El Subramanyam, and all those? You
yeah,
know, so every instrument is difficult. Sitar is one among that. Yeah.
yeah.
Or every instrument is easy. Sitar is one among that.
That's very interesting the way you say all of that. Actually, I'm very inspired now, and I feel like I want to now go and play my sitar right now after
I can
speaking
see
to
that
you.
in that background. Yeah.
So just to close, can you play something more and before I end, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm sure when people watch this, they're going to be as inspired as I am. And please keep on making such amazing music. Continue doing what you're doing. And I just look forward to hearing all of your music in the future. And I just want to learn from you now, you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. You know, it's so nice to be on the breathing music program that you're doing. It's so, you know, it's so fascinating. I had this idea long ago, long ago. Like I had to interview every musician and take the advices from them, and it's like it's not possible that because you kind of get your own questions that not everybody asks on the interview. So you know, I had that when I was growing up. I had that feeling, and now you're doing it. You know, for me it's so amazing what you're doing, and I'm so happy that I'm part of it. Another reason for this is you know, my initial days in South Africa, I remember I think your dad is the first person to come and see me. You know, he came to my flat in Amshlanga. He brought some sweets, sweetmeats, and you know, we sat together. We chatted a lot for about 2 hours. It was in the evening, and he left my home about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You know, that was so fascinating for me. He's the one who came in the beginning and met me. So. Uh, it's all about the gratitude to the people like you all people of South Africa that nurtured me, nourished
Yeah.
me as a human being, as an Ayurvedic doctor, as a sitar player, as a musician.
Yeah.
You know, I am forever indebted to KwaZulu Natal. You know, so you and you're totally into music, and I'm so happy that you're doing this. I'm so happy that I'm part of this show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm very happy to have you as well. So you play something to end. Thank you. And the floor is yours. Wow, I have no words. I have no words. Thank you so much.
Humble attempt. Thanks again for having me, Shuzi. Thank you.